All right, new day, new project. Um, Besides the busted ass fog light covers, we're working on the wiring for the fog lights themselves. Let me show you what's going on. Key in, ignition, fog light switch on. So we got passenger side working pretty good. Nothing on the driver's side. And the reason why the driver's side is not working is because the original connectors have pretty much turned to dust. So mostly on the fog light side, the truck side's somewhat decent, but while we're here, let's learn a new skill. New skill being Deutsch Connectors. So I've wanted to do this for a long time, learn how to use these. These are pretty cool. If you're not familiar, Deutsch Connectors are what's used on mostly on motorsports, aerospace, like important stuff. Completely rebuildable connectors, and they're watertight with like a little gasket on them. So been wanting to do this for a while, so let's see if we can figure this out. So I watched a few YouTube videos on how to do this. All those other videos use slightly different style pins than what's in my kit. My kit is using a sort of standard W crimp. Got the tool right there for it, but typically what I see in videos is that they use a closed barrel pin that uses this sort of 4-jaw sort of crimper. So I've been doing a ton of W crimps on the Mustang. I'll shoot a video on that soon, but that means that I have more experience in this than I thought. So let's see how this goes. So how these all go together is that you start with a pin on your wire. It goes into one half of the connector. That half of the connector has a specific wedge lock, and then same thing on the male side, and then the other pin on the wire on this side. So the diagram I've been following says use the solid pin going into the female connector that uses the green wedge lock, and then the other half is going to be the female pin, so the socket pin, going into the male connector that uses the orange wedge lock. So that's how it all goes together. Alright, got the fog light wiring all pinned up, and I was about to go put on this 3-way female Deutsch connector, and then I remembered that Diode Dynamics, the company who makes the pod lights that I eventually want to upgrade to, uses a 4-pin connector on the back of their lights, and they give you like a male plug for the wiring coming from the car. The dumb thing is that I can't find for the life of me the pinout for the wiring that they give you. I was gonna try to replicate it on here, so when I do go into install it, I don't have to do any wiring and just plug in. But yeah, I don't know what it is. And the nice thing about these, like I said earlier, is that it's rebuildable. So I'm just gonna put the 3 ways in for now, and then when the time comes to put the Diode Dynamics pog lights in, I can rebuild it, put the 4-way in, and then figure it out from there. Diode Dynamics, please work on your documentation. Alright, got this plug all dialed in. All 3 wires clicked into the back, and then the green wedge lock is in there. I don't know if you're gonna see it, but there's a little green arrow that points upwards towards the lock. So I have it set up where the common ground is the bottom one. I believe this white one is the main beam, and then this one is the reflector. So that's kind of how I have it set up. Alright, got the plug for the truck side all wired up. Hopefully it's the right orientation. If anything, I could depin it and repin it. So let's plug it in and see how she goes. Hell yeah, got the pin out right on the first try. Overall, Deutsch connectors are pretty easy. I do enjoy that they're rebuildable just in case you do mess up. But yeah, every connector I do from now on is going to be a Deutsch connector. So that's it for this one. Thanks, y'all.